Hello everyone, I hope you are having a great time. So welcome back to crypto market updates. So today we're going to do some live analysis, both fundamentals and technical, so we can figure out what's the current condition in the market and what we anticipate and expect from the market over the coming days and week in the market. So as you know, yes, today we're going to start with the fundamentals so that we can dissect before we can jump into the technical, so that we can dissect what has been happening over the past couple of days and what are the key points that we can take in from the fundamental perspective in the market. So firstly, yesterday we had a rate decision that had happened in the market. We have some few headlines that were quite critical in the market, which we are going to go a little bit into those headlines that we had over the past couple of days. So first one we were going with is the rate decision that we had yesterday, which was hiked by almost 25 basis point, which was a very strong basis point. That we haven't had a rate decision since 2018, what that was higher since over 20. There wasn't even a rate decision that weighed since 2018 as that one, which was very huge to the market. So what was going on there? Let's look at it. So as you can see, this is the headline. Actually, what our headline? Let's get to it. So the Fed raises the benchmark interest rate by 25 basis point, which was one of the, so the prospect was of higher rates has weighed on Bitcoin and other risky assets for sure. Whenever there is a increase in a interest rate, usually assets like Bitcoin usually tend to decline in the market because of what? Because there is an interest rate increase. So meaning to see more people are risky assets. People are kind of putting their money out of risky assets like Bitcoin and keeping it into other. Now that being said, as you can see, let's go into a little bit of a reading. So a widely telegraphed anticipated move. The U.S. Federal Reserve said Wednesday that it will lift the Fed fund rates by a quarter percentage point to a range of 0.25% by 0.5% from the current rate of close to zero. This is the first time since 2018. The inflation rate remains reduced its balance sheet at a common, but didn't specify whether that will be at the next meeting, May, or the next other meeting. But for now we don't know the date, but they have just made a statement that they are trying to reduce their balance sheet, which is actually a good thing for the dollar again. So that being said, also the interest rate hiked approved by the Federal Bank Open Market Committee comes off widely tracked consumer price index CPI isolated at a 4-decade high of February, with many economists predicting inflation still hasn't peaked. So which is what we have been saying. So crypto traders closely watching the Fed statement, the prospect of what could be prolonged of series of rate hikes of the balance sheet reduced both has been heightened for the digital asset prices. So the takeaway here is just for you to know that there was what is a lot of emphasis on dollar yesterday with this rate decision. An increase in the rate decision has given what we can see more power to the dollar. So that being said, with all the anticipation, the crypto, but what we can take from this is, even though we had that huge pricing in the market, the balance sheet reduction of both has been highly for digital asset prices. The price of Bitcoin, I would say, the market is not going to react to the rate hike, but will likely react to a very sharply to anything said, a statement, or more likely the press conference that indicated a change in the quantitative easing exit, excluding what? Excluding. Even with all that has been happening in the market, especially looking at the equity market, there hasn't been, when even we can hear from, there hasn't been any much movement that was going against like that has put much pressure in the market because of those rate hike circle that has been happening. And even there was a saying, a stock manager thinks that usually whenever this rate decision comes in, it doesn't even affect the market that much. And as we can see yesterday, instead of us having that huge decline in the market, actually the market did quite okay even after the statement that report has been put out with the 25 increase. We had a little bit of push down, but still the market was still okay. BTC was still trading below 40,000 region, which just give you that okay, still BTC didn't waver over that headline that has been pushed into the market. So that being said, this will give you a level more confidence of understanding that okay, we had that huge news into the market, which what the key point is, it gave out a volatility in the market, but it didn't do much damage to the market. So, and we were expecting with a hike like that, we were expecting to have a damage in the market, and but the hike didn't do the damage, meaning to say now we have volatility in the market and there is no damage. That means that volatility can be pushed somewhere else, since we haven't had any decline in the market yet, even after that. So looking at that also, this was one of the strongest data that we had yesterday. Also, there's one which I was kind of emphasizing on also. I guess the parliament planning of banning of BTC, which I think they had a vote yesterday. I think 3 days ago, there was a banning of BTC that was pushed in the market, I think. So yeah, there was a banning of BTC. Where's the headline here? Headline, I think there was a policy of what in the EU Parliament about voting banning of mining of BTC in general, due to what I think a renewable power source or something like that. But what happened was the vote was pushed, and from that point of view, I think the market was a positive thing for the market, because that vote it's not been discarded completely. But what happened was they were pushing for proof of work, which is meaning to say they need to go into more investigation on whether they are actually potentially banning the BTC mining in general in the EU, but they have not banned it yet. So they pushed it, meaning to say, yeah, we are coming for you, but I think we don't have more evidence to push for that banning of this. So they have requesting for proof of work and everything. So everything has been postponed and has been dragging further. So meaning to say the market has a little bit of, since they were on the neck, like it's like the market has been choked, but actually that been pushed further on for the proof of work and to be more investigation from that banning before they can make a decision based off that. It's actually a good thing for the market. So now that being said, I think we have quite enough of the fundamentals that has been going on. So let's go on to the chart and let's see what we can take from the market. So let's dive into the daily time frame first. This is BTC USDT, by the way. So this is a BTC chart that we had. We had this huge sell-off that has been happening over a couple of months. So what we found a level around, I think around 32,000 region, which was quite a strong level that we had a few consolidation over the past time. Overall, there was a level around here. There was a mitigation there, and we tapped into that level. And since we tapped into that level, we couldn't even reach back to that level initially, which was a good sign in the market. So now, looking at the structure that we have been having, if you look at the structure, we tend to have a little bit of shift of structure since we hit that 32,000 region. So we hit that level one. We have been forming a more clear, precise structure coming down here. But since we had a low here, and we push out, we broke this current lower high here. So we formed it with a high, and we had another higher low. So then the next thing we were anticipating was a higher high. That means we can say we have a clear shift in market structure. But the market did pushed up high, but not as higher as we wanted the market to do, which was there was a little bit of uncertainty whether we can take out this high or not. So we decided to, let's go down to a little bit of more lower time frame so we can see a little bit of intermediate structure, or we can figure out where the structure of the market is going, because we need to understand the market structure for us to determine which direction we can be facing in the market. So looking at the market right here, we had a lot of break of structure around this region. We pushed up down here, which we create a lower high, then we pushed up high here, not high enough to take out the high, but we did have a high here also. So we pushed down here, which was we formed a low and a high, which was which is higher than this, lower than this place, which was a higher low. Then the next thing, for us to be completely bearish, we need to have a strong bearish structure which can go lower low. When we failed to form a lower low, which created this little consolidation between this region, because of because there is no clear market structure. So this area became a little bit of a consolidation if I might say it. Yeah, it was a consolidation because the market structure has not been established fully, so there hasn't been any certain market structure around the region. So it was a little bit of consolidation, but if we go down to a lower time frame, we can see more a little bit of price action around that region. So looking at it here, we had a few patterns that we spotted. What there was a little bit of an intermediate flag pattern around this region, which we broke out of it, and what we came up to retest that region to find a resistance level. Then we pushed, but we still failed to create a high, a low which was lower than the lower than the previous low. Now that's the key concern here. So looking at this, what we can anticipate is we either have a structure which can give us a full push to the upside, and from what I'm seeing right now is what we have a low here, we have a high here. So if we decide to mark it up this, so we had what, we had a low here, and we had a high here, and we had another high here. Then now we had another low here. So now the next thing we're anticipating is what, we had a low here also. The next thing, we had a high here. So now the next thing, we failed to take out this low as a lower low at this region, and we pushed, even with the interest rate decision that was pushed yesterday, we still failed to create to go below 40k region, to go like below 38k region. We failed to do that. Then the market had a little bit of a decline, but still the market strongly came back up again to around 40,000 region. So meaning to say, now our goal now is to break 50 to 42k. Once we broke around 42k region, then we can establish a intermediate bull structure that can pushly help us go further. So what I'm anticipating right now in the market, except if we can come down below 38k, we're intensively going to be bullish on the market. And what we can anticipate from the market is to have a bullish structure breaking 42k. Once we break 42k, then we can be more precise and we can have more percentage of surety that yes, now we have established a new bullish structure, and we can start pushing up from furthermore into the market with that. Now looking at this, so now the game plan should be for BTC to break 42k. Once we break above it, once we break above 42k, then this is a bullish structure that we have formed in the market completely, and then we can start we can start establishing a new trend that can further push on, and we can start going up higher, and we can anticipate 50k to be, since we had it. And also, if you can remember, based off what we have right now here, we have a pattern which was like a flag pattern, an intermediate flag pattern, that we could reach 50k and above it based off this pattern that we had previously. So now to validate the pattern, to have a complete surety in the pattern is we just need to break 42k above. Then we can establish and we can invalidate this intermediate structure of a flag pattern, which was indicating a downside movement in the market. So this is so far, and with the headlines what the key point here is also, we have volatility in the market. We have volatility in the market, meaning to say there will be huge movement coming in the upcoming days, and we're anticipating those huge movement to be precisely in the upward direction in the market. So as long as we can maintain, I think 38k positive headlines that have been happening, even with the Fed rate decision that didn't do any much damage in the market, I think it's safe to say BTC can go a little bit into more recovery or into more upward phase in the market right now for this couple of months. I think that we are going in. So yeah, so far this is on BTC. So the next thing we're looking at is we're going to look at is the total actually. So looking at the total, this is a crypto total market capitalization right here. So we're having also similar pattern and similar market structure on it. So what we're looking is as long as we can break, I think 1.28 trillion, 1.85 trillion total market cap. Once we break that structure also, we can see more precise movement of them, because this total crypto market also is correlated with BTC, and also the total market capitalization is also linked with BTC. So meaning to say they have a similar movement of pattern. It's just like a mirror image of BTC right here. So we can go to total market cap excluding BTC, which is the one that I'm looking forward to looking at. So if you look at this right here, this is the total market cap excluding BTC, meaning to say this is the total market cap of altcoins but with Ethereum included in it. So now, as you can see, what we had a low here, which we formed a low around this region, which on the total market cap with BTC we have not tapped a low around this region. We haven't reached this low. We haven't formed a bottom at this level, a double bottom or what you can call it. So now what we are looking here is and we are starting to see a sign of bull structure. So what we anticipating here is, can we break above this resistance? Once we break above this resistance significantly, so like pushing up to 1.04 trillion market cap, once we hit that on the altcoins, and especially as you can see, the altcoins have been doing very much well over the coming days. If we go down to to bigger time frame, so you can see right here around here, when we pushed up here, we had a what? We had a break of structure. We tapped in here, we tapped into this region, and what? I think we had a significant start of a 618 retracement around this region, break of structure, and since we have found a low, so we had a break of structure. We tapped into 618, we push up again, we break another structure, and we push down again. So I think when you look at the altcoins, there's a sign that altcoins are going to do much more good of the upcoming days. So this is to tell you that there's going to be a lot of positive movement or a lot of bullish movement on the altcoins in general, excluding BTC. So the key point here is we're going to take here is a lot of altcoins will do much better than BTC this coming months. So you should take note of this, that a lot of altcoins will do much more better than BTC coming days. So this is also important point that people should take notes of. So I think if we come down here also, this is the total market cap excluding BTC and Ethereum. So looking at this also will give you a little bit of more understanding of what's going to happen with the altcoins in general. So as you can see around here, we had a low here and we broke off structure here. So now what we have here is to invalidate this bearish flag pattern that we had here. Once we broke the 700 billion market cap, that means, and as you can see from what we are even witnessing in the market, we are witnessing what? We are witnessing a more precise push upward movement with the altcoins. So what I'm anticipating is what? Altcoins will outperform BTC in general. So this coming months, a lot of altcoins, there will be a lot of pump in more altcoins, and there is volatility, and there is a willingness of traders to go into all those altcoins. So this is a point whereby it's good to invest into altcoins and be part of those movement in the market. Also, this is what crypto total market cap of DeFi, which is one of the great one actually. This one is even telling you all those DeFi altcoins will do way better than the centralized altcoins, because the DeFi ones are way more in tune in the market and there is more potential in them than the actual centralized one. Don't mean to say that there is none in it, but the DeFi one caps have way more clear structure of a push to the upside. As you can see, we have already found a low here. We took out this previous low. We found a low here which is equivalent, and what we broke structure, we pushed up, we came down here, we tapped a level which was corresponding to like a 618 region here. So after that, and what we push above it and we break structure here, we came back to retest around this region to look for liquidity, and we tapped in. So now what we're anticipating is what to push up. So a lot of decentralized altcoins will do a lot of good things this coming weeks and coming months in the market. So yeah, so far so good. This is what we can take from the market, and I hope everyone can take advantage of this. So it's more time to be, as long as we break 42k on BTC, we can be more precise, having a bullish outlook in the market, that we can potentially reach at least what we can at least reach 50k. After 42k, we can start establishing what more bullish bias in the market, and we can start looking up for BTC at 50k or above it or something like that. So thank you all for time and have a wonderful day. So make sure guys to like and subscribe to the video, and yeah, leave a comment below.